I did. Yeah, thankfully. It took me I want to say like almost 2 hours to do it when it should have someone who could, was familiar with Excel, it would probably take them way shorter, but
Yeah, it didn't take me that long, but at the same time, I already knew it like how Excel worked a little bit. So,
yeah.
okay, well, I'm glad you got it done. Okay. Well, I'm ready to start when you are.
I'm ready too. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. So number 1, the course theorem implies that
That one, it is.
oh, it's the private party one.
It's possible for private parties to resolve externalities.
Yeah.
Okay. In the presence of externalities, private and social welfare tend to diverge. Do you agree on that one?
Yes. Yeah. I was trying to remember. I was trying to think, but yeah, that sounds right.
An example of positive externality is this one is herd immunity.
Yeah, that one's. For some reason, I remember that one. I think it's because doesn't it have like a whole? Yeah, it has a whole section in the book about it.
It talks a lot about herd immunity.
Yeah.
So taking antibiotics and create a negative externality. This is the one that should be careful with the use of antibiotics.
Yeah.
The long answer.
Mm-hmm.
5, Piguvian, however you say it, in taxes.
It's the one that's always.
Yeah, always improve. So yeah, you had that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Viable organs are scarce because.
It's the medical need, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are just because it's based on medical needs of patients. Like the other ones just don't make sense, I guess.
Yeah.
And this okay. Our current system for organ transplant. This is the price ceiling of 0, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh.
Okay, so we have to go to 440.
What pages? Oh yeah, 440.
Yeah, so just 440 about the organ transplants.
To be like perfectly honest, I wasn't very sure like the organ transplant stuff.
Oh yeah, that one. I don't know. That was the one part of the chapter that drew my attention for some reason.
I just found it really like confusing. Like all the stuff, like I have antibiotic resistance and like the herd immunity, all that kind of stuff. I really understood, but like yeah, this stuff I'm not sure. I'll gather my thoughts a little bit. I mean, something I guess like I found interesting about like this particular thing was when it mentioned, what was it? That even the richest people in the world cannot get an organ when they need one.
Hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
why do you think like when it comes to like organ transplants, like why do you think like that's how it was decided it was gonna be? Because like every other medical treatment, like if you have the money, you can like pay for anything you want. But with like organ transplants, I mean, I know it's a scarcity, but like why do you think it was decided to be like that? You know that what I mean? Like it's more a bit. That's what specifically more on like medical need and not how much
Um,
money you have.
so I think, and if I'm not mistaken, so the Pigouvian approach, or however you say that, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not reading it incorrectly, it talks about how that's kind of, I don't want to say the reason for it, like that's just because it talks about how basically everyone has banned organ sales besides Iran. So, and it just says like, let's see. So the ban can be construed as a Pigouvian strategy, but only if every single organ sale generates more welfare loss from, let's see. But if I'm not going off of that section, if I'm just going off my own thoughts, I think that a reason why it is banned is just because, so it's hard to explain because you treating your organs as a property and something that you can sell to people, I think would just get almost dangerous. And also, I don't know, like for it to be your property, if it's going to be sold, like you would decide how much it was going to be sold for. To be honest, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I can kind of like how you were saying how it's not like I mean obviously there's a need for people that need like organs, but it's kind of one of those things like other than like kidney, I think like liver, any other organ transplant, if you were to take it out of someone, would like kill them, like the lung or the heart or I can't remember how many other ones they did, and it's like, I mean, first of all, that in itself, I mean, why would you like kill yourself to like get money if I mean you can't use it, and kind of going off the whole idea of like, I think it is a little dangerous to like, would it be dangerous to like, I guess, authorize like organ sales just because you really can't like, I don't think there's a good way to like monitor and like, have like a market, like an effective like market thinking in those terms for it,
Yeah. And it also says in the book, it says that property rights with organs are just really hard to define.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I'm trying to say, but I also don't know how to say it. But
and I also think like this is one of those things where like, it might, if you could sell your kidney, it would be like a positive. What was the term they used? Like, there's a term I want to. It'd be like a positive for like a private, the private welfare of someone. But like social welfare, like I think there'd be negative connotations to it because it's, it's just such a big thing where people need it and there's always a scarcity. It's just like, and then even going further into like the medical part is because you want to sell a kidney doesn't mean someone could use that kidney You know, it has to go specifically to someone that can't.
Right.
You know, they have like all those like lists on people who need it, and you know, they check like the blood work and all that stuff to see if you're even compatible. And even then, it's hard to find someone compatible for it.
Right.
But I do think that if you could sell organs legally, there'd be a big social like welfare like negativity towards the whole situation. I think it's like social loss or something like that.
That makes sense. Well, let me know when you're done writing, and I'll ask a question.
Yeah, okay, 1 second. Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So I kind of know what this is, but do you know what? So can you just explain anything about the cohesion approach?
Not really. Again, I was really confused on like those specific parts of it.
From what I understood, it's kind of just explaining a world in economics if we were able to sell and buy organs.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
Oh, there is, yeah, I think you're right, because it says an organ seller, no, in this situation, could convert extra or unneeded organs into cash, while those desperate for transplants no longer face deadly shortages. So is it basically kind of saying like, it would be like a positive thing for wealth, like private and social welfare? Or is that how you understood it, or?
Let's see. It says the welfare gains of this regime are clear. Organ sellers can convert extra or unneeded organs into cash, while those desperate for a transplant no longer face deadly shortages. I guess it's saying that there is a positive on social welfare, but then it looks like it says, however, these transactions would also generate repugnance. Let's see. That there would just be no transactions at all because of all the difficulties with selling them, I guess, is what it's saying.
I guess I guess I'm a little confused is like on the whole property rights part of it, you know? How it says every person has the right to negate another person's organ sale. And I guess like I don't fully understand why. Like I think that's where my confusion comes from, because everything else is like, you know, this could happen, but then you also have the negative people, like organizations that, or it would be negative for organizations that don't want organ selling. But like, I guess what I don't fully understand, and where I guess I'm confused, and maybe you are too, is like, why would, like, where does it say it's a right to that, you know, you can negate another person's organ? So is that in this situation, in this approach, or is this like, or would it be like something, you know, that would affect us now if like it could happen? Does it make sense?
Yeah, no. Hmm. I don't know. I've just went and confused myself, I think.
Because I'm like, because even earlier in like that little section, it says, if the government granted rights, for organs, people would be free to buy and sell organs.
Mm-hmm.
Even though some other people might be repulsed by this practice. I mean, the only thing I could like kind of see is like, well, I mean, even that, I guess it wouldn't make sense because I was thinking maybe like, both parties have to agree, like seller and buyer.
Mm-hmm.
But like this also says, and every person has the right to get another person's right to.
Right.
See, like.
Yeah, and I just feel like they're trying to explain that there's so many issues when it comes to the actual property, which is the organ. Like, I don't know, for example, like if we were able to do that, it's not like I can just, for an organ that I don't necessarily need to live, it's not like I can just, perform a surgery on myself to remove my organ. Like I would have to go to a health provider, and it's like, how does that health provider get paid? What kind of service does that end up being when you're selling your organ? I don't know. I think they're just trying to say that it ends up just being too complicated.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's just impossibly complicated. Well, I had a thought that, like, I guess a way to, like, solve, or I mean, that could hypothetically solve, like, that part what we're talking about is if, like, you had, like, perfectly clear, like, property rights, like laws, like that outlined everything, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess that could possibly, like, it would, I guess, negate the idea that someone else could maybe cancel out someone else's organ selling.
Right.
So that's what I was thinking.
Well, it also gets me to thinking it could work similar. Of course, this is a very small degree, but like such as donating plasma. You're getting paid for it, and you're kind of selling your plasma in a way.
Well, I mean, yeah, you technically you sell plasma. I mean, that's how everyone I talk to talks about it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just an idea. Like, why is plasma fine but not like an organ?
I don't know. That's interesting.
I mean, I think with like when it comes to blood, like it's a lot easier to like for people to get different kinds of blood, like because they have like A, B, O, and AB and everything, and positive, negative.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it's more complicated when it comes to like organs because there's so much more that goes into it, not just your blood type.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could also be one of those things why it's okay to do plasma, but it's so much more difficult to, for organ stuff.
Right. I don't know. I know I definitely wouldn't be selling any organs.
I would not want to. I mean, no. I need them. They're mine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess another thing, like in the case of like selling plasma or something, I mean, you get your body replenishes it, I guess.
Right.
Your body can grow like another, kidney or something. At least, yeah, not right now anyway. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's like you said earlier. It's just there's so much that goes into like, the cohesion approach, and like, even within just that one approach, it's like just so many things that you have to take into account before it would even be like possible to do it.
Right.
I'm typing this, you know. It's an I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready.
Okay. Then do you just want to go to submit quiz? I think I'm pretty sure we got all them right, but
Yeah, let me know if we missed any.